What are some changes that you would like to see in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? I came across this article from The Gamer, written in June, talking about 10 changes that they hope to see in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I kind of wanted to go through the article. I read a couple of them, so I know what a few of them are. I want to give my thoughts and talk about why I agree with some of them and why I don't agree with some of them. But let's get into it. With the first thing, they're talking about no more loading corridors. They go on to say it had loading corridors despite it being an incredible game. They're the scourge in a day and age when developers try their hardest to hide their existence, yet FF7 Remake has so many of them. A wonderful change would simply remove them. Hopefully the PS5 affords them that. Maybe if, since they're developing Rebirth strictly for PS5, they can get rid of the corridors. Personally, don't care. Wasn't a big deal to me. I barely even noticed them, honestly. They're just part of the game. It is what it is. I'd rather have a corridor than an actual loading screen. So if they keep them, they keep them. If they don't, they don't. It is what it is on that anyway. And then going along with the corridors is they're talking about seamless areas. So they want these giant expansive areas. They want the transition between towns and worlds without any loading screens. I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's possible to the extent that they want. I think we'll get these giant open areas similar to Final Fantasy 13. If we get something similar to Final Fantasy 16, that would be great. I like that whole style of having the overworld map and you pick your location, you go there. It's pretty big. I'm okay with that. That was pretty dope in my opinion. And you have like little towns and stuff scattered throughout those areas. So I think the best way to go about that is 16's route, just having a settlement in an open area and then monsters and stuff to the side of the settlement and stuff like that. So like imagine going to Cosmic Canyon, but then you can leave Cosmic Canyon without any loading screens, right? And then go in the canyon area and fight the monsters and stuff like that. But if you want to go to Junon area, you'll have to fast travel to Junon. Then you can leave Junon, right? And then go out of that area to fight those monsters around Junon. You know, I don't think they're going to be able to go from Junon to Cosmic Canyon or Chocobo Ranch or whatever without having any loading screens. That's just crazy. Then they have improved aerial combat. This has already been fixed with Intergrade, with Yuffie and Sonon. They severely improved that from Remake, because in Remake it was impossible to handle any sort of like aerial combatants without magic or whatever. But with Yuffie, you can like teleport to him and throw your shuriken at him. It was just so much better. So that's getting fixed. I agree with that 100%. That's getting fixed 1000%. A diverging story. This one I do not really agree with. I'll read this real quick. It says the most wonderful trick Final Fantasy VII Remake pulled off was truly making you believe it was just an expanded remake. Yes, it does follow much the same story up to a certain point, though aspects still stand out as different until the ending hits you and you learn the game is actually a parallel universe sequel thing. With all that established though, it would feel fairly odd for Rebirth to follow the original game's post-Midgar story closely. So here's hoping it all goes out and delivers us a story that's dramatically different from the original, paying off the strongest aspects of the remake. I do not think they're going to deviate as much as the gamer seems to think. I think things are still going to stay the same. They've already said that everything's going to pretty much play in line as it did in OG. Minus you might come across different areas sooner or later. I don't really know what they want with this. Personally, I'm okay with a diverging story or a story more close to OG. Either one's fine with me at this point, but it's definitely going to diverge a little bit because of the way Remake and the trailer for Rebirth shows us. So we're on a separate path, but I don't know what's going to go on with that path, if that makes any sense. Better side content. This was a huge issue for Remake. Chasing cats. People did not like catching the cats in Sector 7 with Aerith. They did not like it. I want more side quests, but I want them to like expand on the story of those certain areas, like expand on the story and the history and the culture of Cosmic Canyon, of Junon, of Costa del Sol, all that stuff. I do hope there are better side quests. Greater limit break diversity. So personally on this one didn't really bother me that much because Aerith was like a healer. Tifa, Cloud, and Barret are all damage dealers, I'm pretty sure. And I'm not like big into combat. I kind of just play the game and just do stuff until it doesn't work. It doesn't work, I'll change something. So I'm not like huge into combat, so I can't really give much insight onto this. I think they're fine, but I don't really care enough to say whether or not. Even more materia combinations. So yes, we didn't get a whole lot of materia in this, and we had, like, by the end of the game you had an excess amounts of like fire, cure, like all that, right? But there's nothing to do with them. What I do hope they do is I hope they add the materia fusing system that was in Crisis Core. That would be amazing, and I think that would be a great way to combo materia together. Crisis Core, especially the remake of Crisis Core, it really like reminded me of how important and how much fun it was to just like mix materia to create different materia. I really hope that we come across a way to do that, or someone will teach us so we can do that. And then I obviously think we're going to get more materia that wasn't in remake. Like there's all kinds of materia that we didn't get, like Ultima. I think time and stop wasn't in, or no, stop wasn't there, but there was some other ones I think that we didn't get that were in OG that just were absent from remake. So I think Rebirth will end up getting pretty much all the materia from the OG. A functioning aggro system. It was so difficult and frustrating when you're trying to like do stuff with people, and then like you're attacking one character with like Cloud or whatever, and then you swap over to Barret to build up his ATB or whatever, and that character would stop attacking Cloud and come attack Barret because you're controlling Barret now. I do hope they fix that, and they just kind of like, they go for whoever, and maybe they go for more of like who's doing the most damage, and they go for that person regardless of who you're controlling personally. But I do hope that gets overhauled in some way. In-depth armor. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but there was already armor that auto casts certain like spells and stuff. Like, was there not an armor piece that would automatically heal you once you hit a certain threshold of health, and would like had other material slots and stuff? Am I wrong on that? Am I crazy? I don't know what they're talking about here. I don't think really matters if the armor appears on a character in cutscenes. It's not a big deal to me personally. But yeah, I don't really think it really matters if the equipment shows up on the characters. It's not a big deal. That's just cosmetic stuff. It's not a big deal to me. Sephiroth as a companion. This one is very interesting. Here's the thing. I think most people are on this path. I think that Rebirth should 1000% start off in the calm flashback. That would be a great way for you to learn the game again. Having Sephiroth playable though, I don't think you should be allowed to play as him. That would be kind of weird, but then again, maybe not. I'm not really sure. I'm not sold on having him as a companion during that, but it kind of would be cool to play as him and experience like his power and all his spells and stuff like that. That would be wild. So then you can be like, that's what you could unlock at some point later on in the game. And then having Sephiroth just kind of run past you, just slicing and dicing, throwing fire gun, Ultima, and Ice 3 and whatever. That'd be pretty sick. So that's like all of the things they mentioned here. Something they didn't mention that needs to be here that I mentioned before, materia fusing from Crisis Core needs to be in the game. Something else that has been confirmed, not like by word of mouth, but by the trailer, you can see people being able to swap in and out party members and stuff during fights. That's going to be sick. They haven't confirmed that yet or not, but we know it's in the game because we can see, like, there's a point in the trailer where you can see Tifa and Aerith like just kind of roaming in the background during a battle, and they're just kind of like chilling, waiting for their turn. Then it cuts, and surprisingly, Tifa and Aerith are the ones fighting around the same area, it looks like. So yeah, I think we're going to get that. I do hope to see some sort of like limit break team up attacks instead of just basic team attacks. I think they should be special, and they should be like limit breaks. But that's all for this video. Let me know down below what are some things that you guys would like to see changed in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And would you like to have Sephiroth as a companion? Would you like to have Sephiroth in your party during the calm flashback and being able to play as him? I don't really care either way. If so, I'm a main Sephiroth during a whole calm flashback and demolish things. But if you're new here, be sure to like, subscribe for more Final Fantasy content. I'll do guides and how-tos. I'll be covering Sea of Stars going forward at the end of August, I believe. Right now I'm just kind of streaming Final Fantasy VII Echo Mod and Honkai Star Rail. So be sure to follow me on Twitch, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.